In a village nestled between a great mountain and a boundless sea, the people lived in fear of the Bakunawa, a colossal sea serpent so massive that when it rose from the depths, its head brushed against the clouds and its tail dragged in the shallows. Its scales were the color of storm clouds and its eyes burned like molten gold. Every full moon, the Bakunawa would rise, open its enormous mouth and swallow the moon whole. And then for the rest of the month, the world would be plunged into darkness as the beast slumbered, dreaming of fish and little children. But one night, as the moon hung heavy in the sky, two young hunters, a brother and sister named Baltog and Molly, rose before dawn, shouldered their bows and arrows, and set out to slay the monster. Now many had tried to kill the Bakunawa before, but none had succeeded. For when the serpent was done devouring the moon, it would retreat to the deepest part of the ocean where even the strongest spear could not reach it. But Baltog and Molly were clever. They knew the beast's weakness. While the serpent was sleeping, it snored so loudly that it could be heard all across the sea, rousing fishermen from their sleep and frightening birds from the sky. So if they could reach the sleeping giant, they might just have a chance to defeat it. They rowed out to the middle of the sea, and there, rising from the waves, was the Bakunawa, its huge form blocking the face of the moon. An arrow knocked from Baltog's bow, whistling through the air, sank deep into the creature's snout. The Bakunawa reared its head, sending a spray of seawater high into the air and let out a roar that shook the very foundations of the world. But it was only wounded, and with a flick of its tail, it vanished beneath the waves. Now the hunters could have easily killed the beast. It wasn't strong enough to defend itself while it was sleeping, but Baltog knew that killing the Bakunawa would not bring back the light. To do that, he needed the moon first. And so he and his sister returned home, empty-handed to the worried cries of their mother. That night, the moon did not appear. In its place, only darkness. But as the villagers huddled together in their homes, whispering fears of what the Bakunawa might do next, an idea struck Baltog. He called to the village folk, gathered them by the shore, and told them of a plan that would require the strength of the entire village. Working together, they would build a net as large as the heavens themselves, one that the serpent would surely get caught in. Then, using long hooks, they would drag it from the depths, up onto the land, and wring the moon from its belly. The villagers went to work at once, fashioning the net from vines and tree roots. When it was finished, it was so big that it took more than 100 men to hold it up. Then came the hard part, waiting. All day and all night, the people stood in the shallows, holding the net taut. And sure enough, as the first rays of sunlight touched the horizon, they felt the tug of something enormous. The net dipped, nearly dragging the men down into the depths. But they held firm. They pulled and pulled until the net, with the Bakunawa trapped inside, was beached on the shore. But the serpent was still breathing heavily, its eyes blazing with anger. It lashed out with its tail, smashing boulders and sending people flying. But one of the braver hunters, armed with a knife as sharp as lightning, crept closer. And as the Bakunawa reared its head to take one last bite of the moon, he jumped onto its snout and sliced open its mouth. From its throat, the hunters retrieved the moon, which, now freed from the serpent's coils, glowed brightly in the twilight sky. Light flooded the world once more, chasing away the shadows cast by the Bakunawa's enormous form. And as the sun climbed higher in the sky, the exhausted hunters collapsed onto the beach, the sister and brother collapsing next to each other, their faces illuminated by the very moon they had saved. Now, as a reward for their bravery, the moon goddess bestowed upon them magical powers, turning them into one of the constellations. To this day, you can see them in the night sky, forever keeping watch over the world and its people.